Started. Welcome everyone. Today's training is going to be on the Canvas design for primary students. Today we'll be focusing on how to design your Canvas home page so that the young students can easily navigate through Canvas. We want to make sure that you sign into today's session, so we've dropped the link in the chat box. We've also dropped the link to the slides presentation in there also. Today's presentation is going to be a demonstration. There's going to be a lot of information, so sit back and soak it all in. We will have this recorded and we'll make a video of it and we'll upload it to both the P-BVU YouTube channel and also the distance learning website. That way you can refer back to it when you have a little more time and are ready to go through it and create your own home page. I want to introduce the distance learning team that you have seen for the past few weeks. We're still here and we're still willing and able to support you in any way that we can. I want to briefly go over the Zoom norms. You want to make sure that your mics are turned off, videos off also. And your questions, it really helps us if you put them in the Q&A document, because that way it's a permanent listing so anyone can go back and look at previous questions that have been asked and that we have answered. And also, if you want to do a quick question in the Zoom chat box, we'll be looking at those at the end of this session. And how can you receive help? First of all, reach out to some of your colleagues. There's many that are tech savvy and that have been doing a wonderful job. They're great to reach out and they're handy because they're usually next door to you. You also have your C5s and model tech teachers there on campus to support you. You have academic coaches and the VPs and principals are available to help also. We also have a distance learning website. There's a bit.ly that's provided for you. We'll be adding new updated stuff continually, so always keep checking back. You can also email us directly using the distance learning email address. And then there's also IT support that you can create a ticket in the system and they will be able to help you also. The next slide is actually a picture and has the quick link to go over to the Q&A document. Again, this has a lot of different questions, probably some that you have thought yourself and that you can go and refer to and look at the answers. So it's a quick way to get some answers quickly. And now I'm going to hand it over to Shannon and she's going to go over the amazing stuff that she's going to show you today.
Thanks, Jill. All right, so today's objectives. We're going to be thinking about UBD, and what that is understanding by design. We're going to be creating a homeroom homepage where students can access all of their online content in one place. We'll be moving or migrating content from other courses into your homeroom, and then we're going to link that content into your homepage either with a Google slide or with buttons. So before we get started, I just want to take a minute and ask you guys, how are the littles feeling about navigating Canvas? Can you drop one word in the chat? Just what's their experience like? How are they feeling? I can't see my chat box. Do you guys have maybe call out some of that? Oh, there they are. Stressed, overwhelmed, need the parents. Oh, getting there. Yeah. I think that we found that it's really difficult for little kids to navigate this type of program. So they might be feeling frustrated. They could be feeling defeated. But how can we get them to feel confident about this? No, there we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you guys some different strategies on how to allow your students to come into Canvas, just, their regular flow. When they log on the Chromebook, they click on Clever, they click on Canvas, they land on a home page that has everything right there for them. So this is, I'm just going to show you some picture examples. One way you can do it is you can embed a Google slide into Canvas, and then you can link those modules that are needed to your Google slide. You could use buttons. So if you are starting to get familiar with the rich context editor, creating pages, you can create a home page that has buttons that you can link by subject. Maybe some of you are linking with buttons, but you're doing it by the week. So that's a possibility. Oops, didn't mean to take you out there. And some of you, getting really creative, are creating interactive slides with Bitmoji virtual classrooms. This one is actually a teacher at Castle, Miss Raffoon. She's a 6th grade teacher. And when she switched over to just embedding that slide inside of her Canvas homepage, or they call it the front page, then she worked with her slides by linking. You could see Monday's activities, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and it takes them to schedules, all their small groups. So she was working all of those links right within slides. So to make this work, this is really important. To make this work, we need to have all of the content you are going to use into your homeroom course. So that means we're going to be pulling out content from your ELA course, from your history, from your science, from your math course, and we're going to be copying it into your homeroom so they don't get that access denied error. How many of you have seen that? That's been a big one. Or sometimes if you don't have it linked right, if the material doesn't live inside of the course, they might click on something and it just reloads the front page. So you might have seen that too, where it just reloads the front page, which is quite frustrating. So just to be clear, this is a big one. The content you are linking in your homepage must live in that course. So we're going to demonstrate now kind of how this looks. All right, first we're going to create a home page, and we're going to embed a Google slide and assign it as your front page. So I am going to leave out of here, and I'm going to go into, oh, I want to be in this one. Let me just exit there. We're going to go into Canvas. So starting from my dashboard, I am working in my sandbox. So this would be what your homeroom course. So you would be doing this in your homeroom course. I don't have anything in my homeroom course right now. So you can see that I don't have any modules. I don't have a home page, but I do want to get that home page. So we're going to create one. If you already have one created, it's easy. If not, you can start from scratch. So to do that, I'm going to go over to pages. Let me find my pages. I have one already created, but I'm going to start from scratch with you guys. So if I go to view all pages, I am going to go up here to the plus page because I'm going to add a page, which takes me into my rich context editor. Now here, you need to name your page. And just a tip, when you start getting a lot of content into your courses, it really gets hard to decipher and move through all of that. So if you wanted all of your home pages kind of together, you can put a symbol in front of the title, and it will group them by alphabetically, so the symbols will be towards the top. So I'm going to put an asterisk, and I'm going to call this my primary homepage. Okay. And next, I want to put a Google slide in here. This is just one strategy. We are going to show you more, but a Google slide is often more comfortable for teachers to work in than Canvas can be. So this is just a kind of an ease of use, and it's very visually appealing, and it lands inside a Canvas homepage very nicely. So I have a Google slide already created, and I'm going to take the slide and embed it. So to do that, you need to click on File, and then I'm going to scroll down to Publish to the Web. But I'm not just going to grab a link. You guys get to be working with code. And I know that sounds really scary, but you don't have to write it. You just need to know how to copy and paste it. So I'm going to look for the word embed. And I'm going to make a decision about the size I want my slides to be in Canvas. So right now it's set at default medium. I'm going to make it large because I want it to go across the whole homepage. So I'm going to choose large. And then here's my code down here. So I'm going to copy that. I just clicked in it and it automatically selected. Control C to copy. And then I'm going to take that code and I'm going to put it into my HTML editor, which is over here. So this is my where I can just type and type directions, but here is where I can add code. There's nothing in here now, which is great, makes it easy, but if you already had something in your editor, like if you had buttons or you had a banner, you had some information, you might see some code in here. Just know that you just need a blank line, a new line, and you can put it above that code or below depending on where you want your slides. So I don't have anything, so I'm just going to paste. And that's all I needed to do, and save. And there's my homepage. So now I have, this is what the students are going to see, but it's not there yet. It's not there on my homepage. I need to assign that to be, well, we call it the front page. So you're looking for the word front page. So I'm going to go back into my pages and I'm going to look at all my pages, and I've got a few different home pages in here already. Right now, I want this to be my front page. So first of all, I want to publish it so they can see it. And then I'm going to click on these three little dots and I'm going to use as the front page. And go home. Guess what? It's not there. That's because depending on how you set this up originally, you might have to choose what you see for your home page. So right here over on the right, it says choose home page. And right now I'm choosing course activity stream, but I want to change that to pages from front page. So I can select whatever page I want from my pages menu item and put that at the front. So that wasn't too bad, right? So now think about the flow that the kindergartners or the first graders, second graders are going to do. They're going to come to your class, they're going to make it through Canvas, make it to Canvas through Clever, they're going to land here. Now they just have to click on the icons. The more visual you guys make it, the better, because we have to remember that we have some emerging readers, we have some non-readers. So try to give visual clues to what subject. So for ELA, I have a book. For math, I have some numbers. You might even want to include some of those other items for them that you want them to practice on, whether it's Epic or Lexia. Just have them land on the page that you want them to be on when you're making your links. Okay, we're on to our second demonstration. So demonstration 2, we're going to copy modules from other courses. So remember that big concept. We're not going to be able to assign the material from our other courses that was provided for you unless it lives in the homeroom. So right now, I need to go get it. I am going to go out to my other courses. I have my ELA course. This is for second grade, so I'm going to go grab my language module that I need. I'm going to look at the modules, and then I'm going to make a decision on what I want to copy over. I'm looking, let's see, week 1, August 24th. Oh, that probably just too late. Oh, no. How about next week's stuff? Let's benchmark unit 2. That'll work. That's this week. You know, but you guys find what you need. So I'm going to go ahead and do this week. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the 3 little dots here. And I am going to, and that's my menu button. And I'm going to select that. And I'm going to copy it. And I was working in my sandbox. So for you guys, your pull down menu right here, like it should just be your courses. But since I'm in an admin account, I'm seeing everybody. So I'm going to have to search this because you can type it in. My Zimmerman sandbox, there it is. and I'm going to copy it. Now remember the name of this, it's week 2, August 31st benchmark. All right. Copy operation started successfully. Keyword, started. That means it might take a minute. It doesn't take long. In fact, let's go look and see if it moved over. So going back to my courses, I'm going to go into my sandbox. And I'm going to look at my modules and see if it's there. So modules, 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 there it is. There it is. Now I have modules. So when you're dealing with all of the content, all the different subject matters, be careful of the names because it can start getting confusing because over time you're going to end up having a lot of modules coming in, and then eventually, like probably soon, you're going to be creating your own modules as well. So this one is very clear to me. I don't need to rename that, but some you might have to. All right, so now I have my modules from my other courses. Let's go to our next demonstration. So I'm going to show you how to link this module to your Google slide. Okay. Before we start, I want to talk about publishing here. So right now you can see that I have the top level. This is kind of like it's an organizational structure. So like this is just the header. This needs to be published. So always have your top header published. The rest of them you can turn on and off depending on what you want the kids to see. So right now, I just want week 2 overview, and I want to have Milo. I want them to look at the story Milo and the Dragon, and I want them to have this choice board. So I want them to have these 3 things, and that's it. I don't want to give them too much because then again, they're getting confused, right? It's too overwhelming. So I have those on, but I have some other stuff on. I'm going to turn that off. There we go. So that's off. Now the linking, there's a little nuance here. I'm not going to just copy and paste my modules page because then, as things grow, it's going to be too overwhelming and it's going to take them to more text. It's going to look like this. I want them to actually go to the assignment. So I'm going to start with my week 2 overview. This is what I want them to land on. So this is the URL I'm going to copy right here. Select, Control C, copy, and I'm going to bring it over to my slides, and I want to link that on my ELA. So I already had a link there. You'll have to do this every time you want to change your modules, but each module, you just need one link, and then you'll turn off the publishing. So if I get to a whole new module, like maybe I'm getting into week 3, I'm going to have to change this link. But right now, I don't have to change it all week long. Delete that, and I'm going to put it in, and I'm going to apply. Now watch what happens for the kiddos. Okay, so let's go back home. Let's think about the student experience. So let's go to the student view and we'll see the student experience. All right, so they logged into their Chromebook, they went to Clever, they clicked on Canvas, they land here. Now they know they need to do all of these assignments that are in the boxes. So if they need to do reading, they're going to click on ELA, and look where it lands them. It lands them on the overview. And they scroll down to the bottom, they hit next. There's the story. They hit next. There's the choice board. Now, going down, there's no more next button. That's because I don't have anything else published in my module. So they can't go beyond that. So let me leave that. And I'm going to show you that one more time, but this time we're going to go through with math. Okay, so same process. So starting at my dashboard, I want to put my math content into my homeroom. So I need to find the math content. You guys have a math course. I just have one that has everything. So it's going to take me a little bit more digging, but you guys just open up your math course, go to my modules. There's a lot in here. So I'm going to look at the collapsed so I can find math easily. Oh, here's my math. Let's say I was working on, let's see. Uh-huh. Wish they had the date, and see why sometimes it's important to rename these things. So this is a week full of content, and say this is what I wanted. So I'm going to go over to my settings, and I'm going to, at the very top level, all right, not each assignment, we want all of it. So I'm going to go at the very top level, and I'm going to copy to, right, your home page. Me, I'm working in a sandbox. Oops, let me spell my name right. I'm copying it to my sandbox and copy, close. Okay, now let's go back to our dashboard, and you would go back into your homeroom, which is my sandbox. Look at my modules. Not there. Let's refresh. And there they are. See, takes a minute. So it starts, but if you don't see it, just give it a few seconds. It doesn't take long for just a straight copy. If you're copying a bunch of stuff over like a whole course, it might take longer, but this case, just a few minutes. I don't want to be confused. So right now I'm going to take the time and I'm going to rename this because I need to know that that's math. So I'm going to edit, and I'm just going to put math, and you might want to put the date or something that's going to cue you to what module that is. So there it is. Don't forget, we have to have this published at the top level. Now this can be kind of a pain, but when you click it for the first time, it publishes everything. So now I have to go back and unpublish each one of these, and unpublish and unpublish and unpublish and unpublish. Sometimes it does that. I don't know why. And publish, unpublish. Anyway, you get the idea. If you don't want the kids to see it, unpublish it. But make sure that top level is published. Okay. And here is, now I just want Monday. So let's get rid of Tuesday. Okay. Now the kids, oops, only have access to the overview and Monday's activities. That's all I have published. So from here, I need to get this to my Google slide. So I'm going to click on the overview, that first place you want them to land, and I'm going to grab the URL from there. Control C for copy. Go back to my slides. Here's my math. I want to get rid of last week's link and put in this week's link. And really, if you design your slides in a way, that's all you have to do. You can just put today's assignments, and you just switch your link out each week and manage your module publishing, and that's your workflow. Apply. In fact, I'd probably just take this out completely. And then I'm going to go back to my sandbox. I always like to give a little refresh, make sure everything is processed. Let's see what the students see now. Student view. Click on math. There's the overview. They scroll down, they go next. Next. For however many things you published, and then the next button goes away. One thing I want to leave you with on this. So let's go back home. This could be something that you just need to be aware of. So if I'm in ELA, this is the first thing they go on, and the student scrolls through these. There's only 3 of them, I believe. Next. Look where it took me. So this is the little nuance. They will be able to go, if they keep hitting that next button, they're going to go through all the published assignments in your modules. So they need to kind of start recognizing, like, oh, I'm at week overview. That's a new subject. So they need to be aware of that. All right. Let me leave that. We have some guests that would like to share what they've done for you guys, but I think this might be a good spot for quick questions if we have anything in the Q&A. That's the gist of how you do it with a Google slide. There are other ways, but we want to give some of the teachers an opportunity to share what they're doing, and then make sure that we also show you how you can do this with buttons if you've created buttons. Before I hand this over, I want to give a shout out to General Lampson from Ronald Reagan, because this idea of using the Google slide on the home page and just having a grid connecting all the content, that was her idea. She was amazing, and we worked together and worked through that to try to make that workflow easier for our primary students. All right, do we have any questions?
Just having a side conversation with a teacher. They're wondering if they are able to create a sandbox where they can edit content, or where can they edit content without a sandbox?
Okay. So this is what you can do. So you cannot create new courses. However, if you have a course on your dashboard, so we have a certain amount of courses that were assigned to us, right? So my ELA content right here, I haven't done anything to this. This is imported from the Commons. It was already preset. I have not done anything in it. I can use this shell as a course to create things in, and I can import the ELA content I need into another course. So maybe one solution is that you can share a course, like, so maybe your math and ELA can live together. You're going to have more modules, you're going to have to dig through them to copy and paste over. But if you wanted a blank slate just to kind of play and create and not worry about messing things up, it's totally doable, as long as you haven't created anything in here. Because if you refresh this, which I'm going to show you how to do right now, I'm going to my settings. I am going to reset the course content. When I click this button, everything will be deleted. So the ELA second grade came from Commons. So I'm not going to hurt that content. I can just re-import that back in. But if you created something in this course, a teacher made page, it will be lost unless you have shared it somewhere else or sent it to Commons. So you just need to really be aware of that before you reset a course. I'm going to reset this course. And now I have a blank course. So here's my home, here's my pages, here's my modules. I have nothing. I'm going to go back over to, let's say, my math course, or digital citizenship, or SEL, or one of whatever course that you want to share content. I'm going to go into, it doesn't really matter. I'll come over here. And let's say, okay, let's say this is my math course, and I need that math content. You know, I can't just get rid of it, or I can't just get rid of that ELA content. So I'm going to go ahead and import that, and then it will be paired with my math. So right here, oh, not that one, import from Commons. I just deleted all of my ELA content. I need it back. So ELA, this was a second grade class I was working with. There it is. I'm going to import that into my math class, which, what did I call it? I think I had it this one, but you guys will have yours labeled different. So just know where you're putting it, and you might want to rename. So ELA, all content, import. If you go back to search, let's go back to the home page. Where was I at? This one.
Also, Shannon, we have a teacher who's asking about what you're showing them. How is this connected to the sandbox?
The sandbox, well, I think the question was like, how do I just get an empty shell to play with, right? So I can start working with things, and that's why. So I needed to get that empty shell. So right now, like, I can see that you guys don't have the option to get another course. Like, you can't create another course. You have what you have. So if you want an empty shell to play with, you need to get rid of everything in there, and then you can start creating and bringing things in. Maybe you're building a new homeroom. Just know, I want to show you right now, just know that your curriculum is not lost. It lives in the commons. And so like I could show you right here that I've imported all of this curriculum into one course. So I am able to play in my other courses, but this is not something that you want to do unless you're really comfortable with importing from the commons, because you're going to need that content, and you're going to need it in your homeroom as you're pulling over modules. If you want the kids to access it, you need to get that content into your homeroom. So I think we're getting off a little bit. Do we have anything else we need to address before we go to teacher?
No, just some confusion about why it's called a sandbox.
It's because we like to play in the sandbox. There's no reason. I could have called it my test course. Like it's just where we're playing. Like it's where we're experimenting, where we're learning. You know, sometimes it's good to have a place where you can just play around. You're not worried about messing things up. Like to learn the program. This is a very comprehensive, robust program. So that's why we call it a sandbox, because we're basically playing around it to learn it. So we erase it often. We bring back things in. We erase it again. So that's why. All right, so we are on to our last demonstration, which we're hoping that we can, I'm going to hand this over to Hans, and he's going to share what some of you guys have been doing for Canvas for the littles.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, and thanks for demonstrating that for us, Shannon. So right now I'm on slide number 21. And I'm going to see if we can drop in a link to the slides one more time. And I want to show you guys, well, first of all, I want to tell you a very short story. Once upon a time, we were preparing for this training today. And then we had this crazy idea to invite some of our P-BVUSD primary teachers to share what they'd been doing. So we put together a sheet. We sent them an email like less than an hour, maybe 30 minutes before we started today. And these teachers showed up like I didn't expect anything, because it was so last minute. And why would I put this on teachers? But I want to just share with you. So if you click on this, either this spreadsheet or this link, that's going to jump you out to this spreadsheet. And it's called, and I'm going to drop this spreadsheet in the chat before I forget. I'm just lost right now. So let me pull up my chat. What's that? So I just dropped the link to this spreadsheet in the chat. And some people were nominated or recommended as teachers to showcase their Canvas sites. So you'll see their name, their last name, their email, their site, their grade level. And then this link you will not have access to because you guys are not Canvas admin. So we have access. So if they wanted us to share, we could share that. And then I did a crazy thing, and I asked them to insert a link to a 1 or 2 minute video where they could share what they created on their Canvas and why they set it up that way. And so we had 4 teachers who did share a video, Annabelle Campo, excuse me, from Buena Vista, Nicole Bickham from Old River, or no, yes, Nicole. And then we also had Ashley Cervantes from Stein, and then Katie Hutchins from Berkshire. So everyone give a big like wave or, you know, cheer in sign language for those teachers. And also all of these other teachers who check these boxes, they're willing to showcase, willing to have us showcase their Canvas. And they're also, some of them were willing to share live. So the first one to post the video was Annabelle. Annabelle, would it be okay if I shared your video today? I know you didn't check mark that box to be the one giving us the voice, but would you? She said yes. I was hoping you'd say that, Annabelle. So I'm gonna click on this link, and then a link will pop up below it. And if you guys want to add this to your Google Drive for later reference, you can always go to File and then add a shortcut to your drive. And I hope you have permission to do that. I tried to set it up that way. So let's watch Annabelle.
Hey everyone, this is my Canvas homepage. I teach kindergarten and I wanted to create it really basic for the students and for the parents. So as you can see, I literally just have a button for every day of the week, and then I have a button for the Zoom that they start in every single morning. And let me just click Thursday. Every single day is pretty much the same, just really basic layout with my little banner. And then I entered my daily slides. And these daily slides is what we go over during the day. My whole kindergarten team and I work on it. So each one of us has a specific slide to work on, and it really saves us a lot of time. This is where all of our benchmark curriculum, digital citizenship, SEL, math, everything is in this slideshow. So it's just a very easy and convenient place for us to teach from. And it's also great for those students who aren't able to join us for live instruction. They can definitely have access to what we did with the rest of the class. Down here, I put images of the to-do things, the extra curriculum stuff that they can do at home after hours. And then we also have those interactive Bitmoji slides that we put for fun games that they just click on as well. And let me just show you Fridays, which is the same exact layout. And it's not done, so that way you can see what it looks like. So here's Friday, same thing. And no, I did not spend hours and hours on these banners. You can get them online, they're already made. But so tonight I will enter that slideshow in here. And then I already started putting in the to-do things for tomorrow for the students. And then I will link up this fun games to all of those fun interactive slides. So hope this gives you an idea. It's very basic, like I said. I feel like as soon as the kids and parents get more used to my homepage, I will be able to add additional buttons. But for now, just easy peasy.
Oh my goodness. I am blown away. This looks fantastic. Justin says in the chat, looks great. Lisa says, thank you for sharing. Annabelle, thank you so much for sharing that. And I'm going to give first dibs to the people who made a video. And if they check mark these boxes, then that means I have permission and I'm just going to go for it. So this next video is by Nicole Bickham from Old River. I'm going to go ahead and open this. I'm not going to play the whole thing.
I wanted to talk to you about Canvas because
And I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's 6 minutes and I think she had set it up before, but I do want to show you what she has set up here.
Because this next week we're going to be visiting our ELA for reading and our math buttons in Canvas. Now you'll see that we have our home course right here for Mrs. Bickham's Firsties. Hello Firsties. You've been going to that one. You'll also see a button here for ELA and a button here for math. Now you can use these two buttons, but let me show you an easier way to get to it. So you're going to click on our Hello Firsties button. And I'm just going to change this to student view because it shows me what you see on your screen. Hello Firsties. Now we know how to click the button for Class Zoom every single day. We also know that all these days of the week buttons show what we've been learning that day. Now next week when we're finished with our learning on Zoom, you're going to come into Canvas and click this button right here that says ELA. It's going to take you to our reading site. When you get here, all you need to do is click on this orange button for weekly lessons. Then you're going to see a whole bunch of things listed here, but don't worry. You only have to do the red dots for Monday. So let me show you how this works. You're going to click on the very first red dot for Monday. And this work that's in here is the exact same work that's in your packet that you received in your home learning folder. Now this first activity is not in your packet because all you have to do is read the words below to someone. So you continue to scroll down and you'll see our spelling words for the week. It says, here are your spelling words for this week. These are the words we will be practicing all week, and these are the words that will be on your test on Friday. Now there's another job. It says, complete the spelling activity worksheet. Write your spelling words and color the short A red in each word. We will do part of this together, but this is in your packet. Another job that you'll have on Monday is to practice your spelling words with magical words. I'll show you how to do this on Monday. Now, when you scroll all the way to the bottom, you just click this little button that says Next. And it takes you to your next job on Monday. See, we're still in the red dot. All you'll need to do is watch this video and then complete this worksheet that's in your packet. You scroll all the way down to the
I want to keep playing because it's so good, but I have to stop because there's a few more that I want to make sure that I'm sharing. Here's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing grade level teams get together and collaborate to work together on content together and then share that. I'm also seeing color coding and some really creative ways to get kids to the content you want them to get to. The next video is by Ashley, and I'm going to open hers. And this is Ashley Cervantes from Stein, 3rd grade.
Okay, so on my Canvas homepage,
Sorry.
I have my little Bitmoji classroom to make things a little more fun, and then I have all of my buttons at the bottom. Each of these buttons is linked to either a page within Canvas or an outside link. So for example, Google Meets, when the kids click it, it opens right up to our Google Meets meeting. But then like the daily schedule, when the kids click that or the parents click that, it has the list of everything we do during the day by times. My favorite part of the homepage are my daily buttons. So for example, on Wednesdays, if the kids need to make sure they did all their work, they can click the date. So yesterday was the 2nd, and it will open them up to the module that we did in class. I did decide to copy all of my courses into one because I was having a hard time getting my kids in and out of course cards. So I kind of streamlined the process by copying the curriculum into one and then organizing it based off of a way that I felt was easiest for my kids to work through. So all I did was down here I have like the SEL modules, and I would just move them to my own module and I rename them so that it kind of goes with the flow of our classroom a little bit better. And then the kids can click on their assignments, and inside of them they have, so for example, if they were absent, this was what we did in class, and there's a video that tells them some examples that go with what we did in class. Basically, that's it. My kids only have the home modules and grades buttons available on their student view, and I just feel like so far this has streamlined my Canvas experience and it's made everything a lot easier for everybody.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Ashley. I really appreciate that. That is amazing. Next, we have Katie Hutchins from Berkshire Kindergarten. I'm going to open her video.
This is the Canvas page for kindergarten at Berkshire. We published one module to simplify it for the parents. Once they click on the module, it brings them to this screen. We have an agenda for the day inside each one of these buttons. The agenda includes all of the activities for the day, plus pertinent links that they would need, like our Zoom link, and different activities that we did in case they missed the day or if parents are working. They'll still have access to that. Then we included buttons where they could upload their work for each day. Like today I had 2 assignments, so I duplicated the upload button there. And to upload their work, we're having them submit either a picture or a video of the work that the student did. That's what that looks like. And we're slowly building up to using it more, but the parents have actually caught on pretty quickly, and this seems to be working well.
Awesome. Oh my goodness, that's so amazing, Katie. Thank you so much for sharing. So now if you're on this list, or if you're not on this list, and you're interested in sharing your experience with a 1 to 2 minute video on Loomer Screencastify, you can shoot us an email at distancelearning@pbbusd.k12.ca.us, and I'll give you access to this so you can add your own content so others can see what you've been working on. We have a few others. How are we doing on time, Shannon? Do we have any more time?
I have a few minutes. I was kind of thinking, like, it's up to you guys. We can show another video, or I can show you how to link a button using your rich context editor. It's very similar to what we did by linking in Google Slides. You just go to a different place. Instead of a Google slide, you go to a button. So what do you guys think? Do you want to watch another video, or do you want to see how to link a button? Oh, yeah. Link video. Oh, okay.
All right.
All right.
I'm going to pass it over to Shannon. Now, if you guys wanted to see another video, make sure you save this spreadsheet to your drive. Again, you open the spreadsheet, go to File, Add Shortcut, and then you can watch those videos over and over again. And if, yeah, we have a few more for the videos. Now, I actually showed you all 4 videos. Some of these people may create more, but let's have Shannon do the link. And if we have any extra time, then we can go back here and we can showcase some of these other ones and just kind of jump in and explore. So I'm going to stop sharing and pass the mic to Shannon.
Thank you, Hans. We had one question, you know, and I'll talk a little bit about, like, if you make a mistake in Canvas, like when you're in the rich context editor, it's, they don't have an undo button. I'm like, why, where's the undo button? But I could kind of show you a way around and how I've been dealing with that. So I've got some different home pages already made. So if you go into pages, you can create a home page, or if you already have some, you can view all of your pages. Now here's the deal. These modules, they're that container that holds all of the information. They hold quizzes, they hold assignments, they hold external links, they hold pages. So it looks like I have a ton of pages. These are just pages that came in from that import of modules. This is where that naming helped me, that naming convention. So I put an asterisk in front of all of my created home pages. So it's easy for me to find them. So right now, let's go to, let's see what this one is. Welcome to homepage. Yeah, this is one with just some simple buttons. So right now I can go ahead and edit this. And I can choose the button that I would like to link. There's 2 ways you can do this. So it depends on how you want your students to see it. I can just go right over here and I can click on my modules and do that drop down. And I'm going to see all the modules that are inside of this course. So I've got quite a few. If I link something to it, so let's just say this is ELA, let's just link benchmark week 2. See how that yellow popped out? That just linked it to that module. So I'm going to save. I am going to show you what it looks like in student view. You know, I don't have that as my home page, so I want to change that. I'm going to go back to pages. I'm going to view all my pages. Where was it at? I think it was this welcome to home page. I'm going to come over here to the edge and I'm going to make that as my front page. So I'm going to change that designation. Now it's my front page. So now it's what the kids will see. So you can change your pages out if you're working on something and just put it to the front when you're ready for them. So now I'm on my front page and I'm going to go into student view. If you just link modules, when they click on it, it's just going to take them to the module. It's going to open up that module for them. They still have everything else. So that's kind of like that. It might be a little tricky because if they start scrolling, they might get lost in that. So that's one way you can do it. How I recommend doing it is kind of the way we did it with Google Slides. So I'm going to go to my modules and I'm going to find my ELA, right? No, that's math. Where's my ELA? Let's just do ELD. And I want them just to see Monday. Then I'm going to open that up, that top level, whatever you want them to land on, copy the link, go back to the home page, edit, and I'm just going to link a little bit differently with my little link icon here. Get rid of that, paste that in, and update that link. So back home, look at the student view. Now it's going to take the students right to the page that I wanted them to land on. So just decide like what's going to be easier for your students, whether you want to take them to the module page or do you want to take them to the actual content page. So that's one of the things that you have to decide. All right, that is about it for today. Do you guys have any questions?
Yes, we do have an update from Mrs. Hill, who says Control Z is undo. And I just tested it and it works.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot to go over that. You know, I usually just cancel. Like I'll be making changes and my button just disappeared. I don't want to have to go find it again. I'll just cancel out. Instead of saving, I'll cancel and then I'll start over again. So Control Z, Mrs. Hill, you are amazing. Thank you.
Now, since we do have a few minutes left, I would like to give some of our people who submitted their, who were open to share live, a chance to share. Would it be okay if I shared my screen for a few more minutes and maybe gave some of these people a chance to share? Awesome. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to jump back over into our list of primary teachers. And there was one person who said they were willing to share. Now, if you click on these links, you guys won't be able to see them. But if I click on them, since I have admin permissions, I'll be able to go in here. So is Kara in the house this evening? If you are Kara, unmute your mic and let us know.
Hi, I'm here. Hello.
Hey, Kara, you want to take a minute to just tell us about your course and what you did, and I will scroll through it for you. You can just tell me what you want me to do. And also, Kara, I hear that
you're a little bit garbled to me. I don't know if I'm garbled to you.
Yeah, your voice is a little garbled.
I just went ahead. Can you hear me?
It's kind of it's garbled as well. So, Kara, if it's okay with you, I will go through your page and talk you through it. And
okay, hang on. Let me try to close some stuff and see. Go ahead. I can barely hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go through your site, but if there's something you want me to do specifically, maybe you could drop it in the chat, but I'm just going to describe what I'm seeing. I see you have your homepage, an image of your Bitmoji classroom, and I see a link to join the Zoom, and I also see game time. And when I click on game time, this takes me to a page that says benchmark unit 1 week 1, and I see another classroom with these different days and active links to books, and I also see audios for Let's Play by the Rules. So if I click on this link, I'm assuming that it's going to jump out to a student textbook, and then you linked audio in here.
What are some things you learn when you are part of a sports team?
So you are reading to the kids. I also see at the top you have live links to these little letter cards at the top, which is really cool. I also see a rules board, and it looks like if I click on that, that will link out to another spot, benchmark about rules. So you're just linking stuff every which way. Heidi's ABC song, if I click on that, it will jump out to Benchmark Universe. And I'm just curious to see what's behind here. And I wish we could give everyone access to this, to like an admin view, so you could jump in and see, oh, there's David Goes to School. Love it. Read that to my son. So, and then if I click on the next arrow, I see that you have assignments that I'm assuming if I click on day 1, it will jump out to different resources. This is just phenomenal. Thank you so much for sharing this. I'm going to see if there's anything you're adding in the chat. She says in the chat, this was a page I found on the internet. The woman who created it was amazing. I had to change a few links. I will share also. Oh, yeah, if you want to drop that link into the chat, or maybe we can even add a new slide or a new thing over here to drop it in. I'll call it resources, so you can drop that in this spreadsheet. And Mrs. Hill says she has all of the units. Wouldn't it be amazing if teachers were sharing and caring? Because sharing is caring, teachers. And imagine how much time we could save by sharing our resources and utilizing each other's expertise. I think that would be incredible. Thank you so much for sharing, Kara. I really appreciate it. Let's see. There was also, I'm not going to be able to get to everyone because we have like 2 minutes left. So we're going to have to end our time, but let me see. There was someone who emailed me specifically, and it's Casey. I'm going to open hers. Casey, if you're on the call, you can unmute. And if your voice is good, I will let you talk for about 1 to 1.5 minutes. And if she doesn't, I'm just going to show it to you. I see buttons for Zoom and a schedule and all about me, meet and greet slides, interest survey. And look at, she has a picture of herself. I wonder if she used the remove background website to remove the background, so the sides of her would be transparent. And then I have buttons to ELA and ELD, and this goes directly over to her course, where they can then navigate here. Oh, I see Casey, you are here. Casey is, what else am I missing here? If you're open to share, if you don't want to, you don't have to, no pressure.
I think you got most of it there, Hans. I just kind of wanted a one place where my parents could access the things that they would really need. So some of those buttons at the top, I would now remove. The All About Me, that was kind of for the first week of school. The meet and greet slides, that was just information there. The tech help, I would probably remove now. But those are things that I just put on there for the parents that wouldn't be able to access or couldn't make it to the meet and greet.
Awesome. This looks amazing. Thank you so much for sharing.
Sure.
Awesome. Thank you, Casey. And well, it's 3 o'clock. That's the official end to this session. We're going to drop in a link to sign out in the chat. So please take a moment to sign out. And I'm going to see if Shannon, do you want to share hosting with me? And maybe we can stop recording, you share hosting with me, and I can hang back with some of the teachers that want to look at some of these other things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would that be okay? Okay.
So before we do that, I just wanted to tell you guys, thank you. We appreciate you so much. And this sharing is really, really helpful for all of us to get ideas. And some of the best ideas that, I've been getting have really come from you guys. And then just trying to work through that technical piece to make it all of your links work and no errors. So thank you. I know it's been hard and frustrating to get Canvas easily accessible for the littles, but I can see by all of your work, you're doing a great job. And I hope that today will ease a little bit of that pressure on how you can make this happen. So thanks, guys. Have a great day. And I'm going to hand it over to you, Hans, and you can be the host.
Awesome. Thank you, Shannon. So our session is officially over, but I'm going to be hosting an after party that's happening right now, and you're all invited, but you don't have to come. We're just going to hang out, and I'm going to go through the rest of these examples